Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful souls. Wagwan. I am Marcia C, and welcome to another episode of Her Sacred Soul Space. This is a very special episode because it's the first time we're actually doing it live. Excited to be here. Of course, you know I'm always here with my soul sisters, Dr. Kia, Nat, Beatrice, and Yolande, and we're super excited to be here with you today. How are you doing? Good. It's so exciting for you to join us. Okay, thank you so much. We have a very important topic to talk about today, something that I know that we all have encountered, or some of us are still going through this, and we just want to take a moment to have a soul discussion as to how we can navigate this small glitch. I'm going to call it a glitch in our life. Okay. So before we get into that, you know, for our soul shine, we always like to acknowledge a book we may be reading, or even tell you about a challenge we're doing, or even to acknowledge a goddess entrepreneur who's out there doing her thing. So for today, we are going to talk a little bit about The Traveler's Gift. Actually, this is the new book that we've had on our list, and we obtained it, and we are going to dive into it, and would hope that you would want to do the same if you felt compelled to do so. But just a little backstory as to how this book came into our life. Do you want to talk about it here, or do you want me to go into it?
I mean, it was an awesome experience in Costa Rica when we were in the pool and we met an awesome soul, young. Well, I call her young. She was 60, but she looks very young, you know. And just telling us about her experience from going through domestic violence, and then working for UPS, and then now, you know, she's basically a millionaire for the things that she's done. She said that the book helped her to understand the next level manifestation. So we decided to get the book because we want some of that. So that's the reason why we're now starting to read that book. But it was an awesome experience meeting her and how she poured into many of us who spoke to her. I remember my experience with her. She just said, "Stop complaining, do what you got to do." You know, so it was a wonderful experience. I can say that.
Yeah, I call her Queen Victoria.
Yes.
Queen Victoria. I call her Queen Victoria because the way, and the funny thing about this is that the way she gravitated toward us at first, initially, I thought she was looking at us. Initially, I was like, oh my God, that's strange. This lady's just staring at us in this way. And a negative thought came to me. And the thing about it is that when you can't really judge a book by the cover, right? And so because a negative thought came to me, and I just thought that, okay, this is kind of strange. But in the end, she was observing us. She was observing the energy around us, the people around us. And then we got to talking, and then she mentioned the book to me. She said, "Come here, I have to tell you something." And this has been her secret tool. And so, you know, we are here to, whenever we receive something that is going to elevate us, we are here to share that with you as well. So if you're being led, get The Traveler's Gift so we can discuss it together. And we look forward to that part. Yes. I really do. I am not a fast reader, but this is something that I'm definitely going to start reading by this weekend. So get the book if you're interested. Let us hear your opinion. By the way, Amazon have marvelous reviews about it. So it's not like we're just putting this out there just cause, right? Okay.
And it's available on Audible too. It's available on Audible.
Oh, yeah.
Audible.
Yeah. All right. So beautiful souls. Let's get into our topic of the day. Let's get into our soul chat. And we're going to talk about taking her leap, right? And this is something that is very important because it is June. Can you believe that? 6 months already has gone out of the year. 6 months. And before you know it, it's December. And many of us in the beginning of the year made New Year's resolution. And even if you're not a New Year's resolution type of person, I'm pretty sure you're someone who has goals. And which means that is a seed that's been planted within you, right? And something that needs to be executed. All right. Oftentimes we find ourselves stuck. Oftentimes we find that even though we know what we need to do, we're having a hard time taking that leap. So today we're just going to have a soul discussion in that regarding taking her leap, see how we can garner that courage we need in order for to do what is it we're called to do on this planet. to touch the lives of all those souls that you're called to touch as well. Okay, so let's go into taking our leap, ladies.
Ah,
All right.
well,
Right.
Go
I
ahead.
guess I could go first. I don't know, Yolanda, would you like to go first?
No, you go first, sis.
Well, I'm the leaper. I take risks, right? Only because I truly believe that in order to learn, you got to make mistakes. My last leap, though, is just recent. I'm still looking to see what it does for me, but go back to Costa Rica. A lot of revelation happened in Costa Rica, and it was my birthday. We celebrated, and I decided coming from there that I didn't want to do the next half and more of my life being behind a desk, you know, documentation in at a certain time, you know, and I decided to go part-time with my counseling business and full-time with a career that can help me see the world. So I'm leaping in that,
Yes.
you know, because at the end of the day, last night Yolanda and I went out with our husbands, and I found that we tend to believe that we should be stuck one place forever until retirement, and that's not true. We reach a certain level. I could do mental health, psychology, behavioral health in my sleep. When you reach a certain level, it is now time to see what God has for you. And I've always asked God to help me travel. I want to see the world. And I had to use, you know, Yolanda's husband helped me to understand, use what you have already gotten experience in another area. You don't have to stay stuck in the thing that you've done for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? So the leap was basically going ahead and saying, God, take the wheel, you know, and I applied. The next day after application, I got an assessment. After the assessment, I got the invite for the interview. And this is a company that they don't work this fast, you know? So I just like to tell those who are listening, have faith, you know, believe in your manifestation, and don't deter from the positive, because whatever you think, so shall it be. That I've known that all my life. It ain't just a religious thing. It's universal law. Whatever you think, it will happen. So my focus now is landing the training and the interview, and then y'all might see me in the sky.
Yay. Good
I remember,
stuff.
okay, on the Costa Rica trip, as Kia mentioned, it was her birthday, but also it's also our individual celebration for ourselves, right? Because all of us that went on the trip came away with something, some form of growth within ourselves. And we all did ziplining. I think all of us for the first time, right? For the first time we did ziplining. And the thing about it, the beauty about ziplining, and you wouldn't have known until you try it, is that, and we had 7 lines.
Yeah.
7 lines. And so once you do the first one, I look back and I look down, I realized there's no way for me to go back where I came from. I had no other choice but to keep going, go forward. Right? So by the time I'm in the third, I'm getting comfortable. I realize I can do this. I can do this. I don't feel like fear or like, oh my God, what if this line pop or breaks or something like that, right? And that's the same thing regarding taking your leap, because oftentimes we're so scared to go forth. But once you do the one thing, I don't care how big or how small it may be, just one thing, then it will propel you to keep going to the next one and the next and the next. And I realize that the jump.
Yeah.
If we didn't jump, if I didn't, was like, I came back out because all the other girls were doing this, you know, I gotta put my big girl panties on and everything. I want to realize that this was such a magnificent scenery. This was so beautiful, being so in the air, feeling so connected to God and just trusting. It's a trusting thing, right? So into some of the barriers that may prevent us from actually trusting or taking her leap, your leap, right?
Yeah.
So, and for me, I'm going to go with the big old fear, that gangster, that gangster fear. But I'll just say, peace out, goodbye, go ahead, leave me alone. So, no, for real, because it paralyzes you so much in a way that you even stop, you start to believe that the thoughts, the seed that God is placing within you, within your soul that is growing, like I said, no matter how big or small, that you're being delusional.
Yeah.
That is, it's really not, it's a facade. It's not happening. Nothing like that is occurring in a sense, when it actually is. So that fear factor is just something that we're gonna have to say no to. But that's for me, that's my biggest barrier.
I think everybody has that.
Of that, Marsha. Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what it is, right? And I can definitely relate to that zip lining, because I remember Yolanda went first, and then it was my turn. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this because I have a great fear of heights. And but the shift for me was mentally up there, because when I went across when I was going across the first one, I said, now look what you've done. You have literally taken on something where they made you sign your life away. If something happens to you, you can't even sue these people. So all these things were going through my head halfway across, and I was like, the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. Oh my God, oh my God. My word across that first one was, oh my God. And I did not know it was 7 of them. I was like, what? 7? Like, what the, And so the second one, I kept saying, oh my God, and my anxiety got bigger and bigger and bigger. But by the third one, I shifted that language from oh my God to wee. I said, you know what? I'm going to pretend like I'm a little girl that has no fear, that has not been tainted with anybody's perceptions of heights or what could happen, danger, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to go across this third cable and just go wee, wee. And you know what? The endorphins from that helped to bring down the anxiety, and I actually enjoyed it. And I was like, man, I want to go again. So yeah. But so many lessons were learned up there, though, because once you start, you can't turn back. You have to go through 7 to get to the other side. You got to do what you got to do. So it was a whole, testimony up there in so many levels.
Yeah.
The point of having everyone with you, your sisters with you, definitely did a great job, because I remember me saying, okay, I'm done. And Marsha was like, girl, we got 7 more to go. Come on, let's do this, So, it's the fact that you had the sisters with you say, yo, let's do this. Let's go. So definitely a plus when you have motivation, and the right people in your corner to say, keep going, don't look back, and just, I know I talked a lot, but you mentioned fear, and a lot of it is overthinking. Even doing this whole looking into training and what I got to do. And I heard it, I got to go in the pool. I'm like, pool what?
Now that's the leap.
I'm like,
that's the real leap.
That's the real leap, because I'm like, I don't swim. So what you trying to say? But I know that zip lining helped me to say, okay, I can do it. I can do it. Let me see. Give me the vest. Let me just go ahead and jump. You know what I'm saying? So taking that first leap in whatever we do, although fear comes or overthinking comes with it, you have areas where you rationalize and say, okay, maybe I can, once you take that leap, that first leap. So yeah.
And here's also the kicker. When you each level, it's gonna require another level of courage, or bringing forth some more courage, some more bravery. Just because I took that first, I went on the first one. And yes, I am also someone who is afraid of heights. And when I told my husband that I was gonna do this, he was like, "How you didn't want to do it with me?" Because he begged me in Mexico in January to do something like that, and I was like, "Nope, not doing it." But this time, I was like, "I can't be the only chicken in the group, so I gotta do this." I was just like, well, damn. Here Kia asking us to do zip lining. So I prepare myself mentally from the time that I knew that I was gonna do this. I resigned that, okay, I'm gonna do this. So now I have to prepare myself mentally. Seeing myself there and seeing myself crossing the finish lines, all of them. And here's the other thing, I didn't know there was 7 of them until we got into the van.
Right.
And when we got there, I'm like, oh shoot, so we're gonna have to do this, like I have to cross all these lines. And the first one, you went in, I went on and I was like, yes, I did this. The second one, I did it. But when I find out there was like a longer one, so I was just like, oh shoot.
Yes.
Like, what I'm trying to say is that fear, each time you progress, each time you go to the next level, you're gonna experience some level of fear.
Right.
That's not gonna go away. The only time that goes away is if we stop growing. We stop growing, we stop fencing,
Good
we
word.
settle into our comfort. When you settle into your comfort now, you know this, you have muscle memory, you know you're good.
Yes.
There's no more fear. You shouldn't experience any more fear.
Right.
But once you, like, each time you progress, each time you go to the next level, you're gonna have fear. Every time I got on to the next one, I was just like, okay, maybe this is the one. But I had to chase it away. And while I was in there, instead of closing my eyes, I'm like, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
So I turn around, I look around, I see the beautiful mountains, I see the greens, and I saw it all. With the fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that was on my 4th one.
But there was one of them, like, I got so much in my head. Where I was just like, no, somebody else go. Somebody else go before me, because now I'm in my head. I can't do this. What if, like, I fall? Like my kids, like I have all these things that I want to accomplish. What if this is it? Like, but I had to recollect myself, like, okay, this is my time, this is my moment. No one else can go before me, because we latch on one after the other. No one else can take my place. This is my spot. So I gotta go. So I went with the fear. So that's basically what I'm saying. Like, just because you conquered this fear doesn't mean now it's over. You're never gonna face any more fear, even in that same arena that you've known. Like, if you've known it for a while, now it's time to move. Let's experience something else.
That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right there.
For my birthday, how's that?
Huh?
What was that, B?
Say again, B.
I said that's gonna be our next. I said we're gonna go parasailing for my birthday. That'll be our next thing. How's that?
Yes. Yes.
Listen,
Girl.
Absolutely.
let me say something.
If we can do zip lining, we can parasail.
I'm gonna have to learn how to swim before
Sure.
that.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to swim either, but we go parasail.
Yes.
All right, so ladies, let's talk about this, because and Natalie,
I ain't go yet.
when you talk about
Marsha.
Oh.
Marsha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, girl. You go. Tell me your barriers. Something that you have experienced, Zipline, that prevented you initially or before you come to believe. Yeah.
Yeah, what I noticed, we're framing everything around experience. Say to our guests, what is your zipline, right? Changing jobs? Is it moving to a new state? Is it relationship? Is it starting a business? Make zip challenge. Thing you are hesitating on, that's your zipline, right? That's the thing you got to figure out. Am I gonna jump or not? Is what all is fear. The fear is the piece that keeps you exactly where you are, but the fear is also the thing that will never get you to the end of that zip line.
Right.
To decide to leap, right? And it's about, well, how do we do that? Overcome your mind. Everybody here has talked about what in the mind, right? The mind tricks. Oh my God, I'm afraid of. Oh my God, Jesus have mercy. I signed my life away. If I fall, the fear is so real. Because mentally, I try not to overthink. So I didn't try to get into all of that. I did to use that little trick that Marissa taught me. She said, fear for excitement. So I started telling myself that, oh, I'm just excited. That's what I did. And I got there and I felt the fear. And I was the first to go. And the reason why I went first is because I'm scared. It would be scarier for me if I go last. I did it. Because so for me, if I don't have to overcome everybody else's fear, it's easier for me. So I went. If Natalie jumped off and started screaming, it's over. It's death. I'm gonna die, right? So I'm gonna go first. And I used that little trick, and I said, you know what? Instead of going, like I'm dying, I'm gonna go, woo! I remember watching the guy go across, and I said, if he made it across and he didn't, I shouldn't die. And I checked. Hook us up, and you got to jump up, and then he was like, lean back, and I was like, the only thing left for you to do once you lean back, your foot up, you're gone. And I'm leaning back. So he was like, okay, lift your foot. I was like, wait a second. Right? And that's how life is. Even when you get to that point of, there's gonna be stuff that you have to deal with right there. You'll be get ready and find yourself scared to go. Exchange excitement.
Yes.
He didn't die. He didn't die. You have to affirm yourself with different. He didn't die. He made it all the way across, and I lifted my feet up and immediately said, whee! And then I was like, oh my God! It was really so excited.
It was beautiful.
Take it to the other side. And once I got across there, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. But the first part is, can I stop feeding myself the fear that I won't, that I can't, that I can't start a new relationship, that I can't. What is it that you're telling yourself you can't? Is what's keeping you. But the leap you want is on the other side.
Yes. Yes.
March.
I love that. I love that.
It's also important, even though we're focusing on the individual, the her concept or aspect of it, you also have to take into consideration who is in your circle, who's influencing you as well, because that plays a huge role in whether or not you feel like you're qualified to jump, to take that leap, right? And sometimes you have to close a particular door in order for you to get yourself ready. Get yourself ready to do your job, right? And that door, somebody that's been a 10-year friendship, but never said any positive thing when you're trying to do something, when you try to step out. It's always, a naysayer type of thing, right? And so you have to take that into consideration as well. Just like we say, your thoughts and your words. Words are very important. That's why it's important for us. I'm saying us to affirm ourselves. Just like how Yolanda affirmed, to say, get excited about this. No more forget excited about it. So those are some of the barriers you can kind of pinpoint, write down some stuff, and you can see which one is huge, which one you really need to get rid of, or which ones, could stay to hang around. It's not playing such a huge role in whether or not you leap or not, right? So let's talk about making the actual shift, right? So we are there at the we've done some back work. We recognize what our barriers are. We're starting to meditate more, or listening to inspirational podcasts or music, setting our mind up, changing the way we think, setting our mind up to know that we're going to leap, right? Now we're at the edge. How do we shift? How do I just actually do it? Not because, like Natalie said, not because we encountered fear once and we kind of triumph over it, doesn't mean it's not going to follow us for the rest of our lives, or every time we elevate to a higher level, right? So let's talk about taking that shift, right? And so from one of the things that I like to do is to create like a soul vow or soul mission. So it's now you giving your own self a charge. So when you do that, it's like you have no one else to rely on. You don't have to have a what you call it, cheerleader in your corner in order for you to actually move. You are creating a soul mission. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And then this is what you go back to remind you as to what you need to do. That's one of the ways. That's something that I can suggest for you to do. Creating a soul mission. Anything else you ladies may have to talk about? How do you actually just jump, just leave?
Well, I can say that.
Go ahead, baby.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Well, I like to make vision boards for whatever it is that I'm trying to do. I'm a visual person, so I like to see the steps, the small step goals that I need to do in order to achieve XYZ. And while doing those steps, I'm affirming my worthiness of getting to that goal. So say it's to get a new job, sending out the resume by this time, doing this by this time, so making sure they're timed goals that you can achieve, and at the same time affirming I'm worthy of this. I also do a lot of gratitude listing. I'm grateful for this job. May have not had it yet, but I'm already believing to have it. So, I do a lot of, I'm grateful for you allowing the interviewer to like me. I'm grateful for da. So I do a lot of ahead of the game stuff. So visual, again, having a map out what steps you need to take, and affirming yourself by already seeing it happen, knowing that you're worthy of it at each step. So that's another tool that I use that I think others would be appreciative of.
I think equipping yourself is really too. That is concerned is if you require something that you don't currently have, then you're just wishing. If you really mean to leap, qualify yourself or get yourself in position in line that you want. That way you're not adding to the fear and the negative head talk, right? About you not here. So if it means increase a skill or learn something, right? Or join a group, some kind of group, you to gain more knowledge about what it is that you want, and that's what you should do. Get yourself equipped as well.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can take the action that's needed. What are you gonna say now?
I was gonna add equip yourself, as Yolande say, with the tools that you need, and having accountability partners. And if you don't have that, be the person for yourself. Let's say you look around, there's no one in your corner that can be that person for you. be your own accountability partner, because you can do that. And what I do sometimes when I need to make the leap into something unknown, which I'm a risk taker. I get my hands on many things, and I'm not afraid to jump. When it's time for me to do it, I'll do it. But sometime, you get to that point where you stuck. You've done the leap and you've done the things that you need to do. Now you get to a place where you plateau, or you just stop moving forward, and
Yeah.
you stuck for whatever reason. You just stuck. What I do is I use my records, the past, like
Yes.
the past, to get me here. And
Yeah.
if I have to start over again many times, I do that. I reset, refocus, and then restart. That's what I do. Like, if you have to go back and do that, like the last time I had to take a leap, what did I do? If
Right.
it's bringing myself, like, my mind into alignment, if it's refocusing my mindset, if it's working on my mindset, I do that. I spend as much time as I can, or as I need to go back and do that work, working on my mindset. Because as we all know, in our minds, we could do
Yes.
the activities all day long, but if it's not in alignment or it's not right, we're not gonna see the result that we want to see. So I
Right.
go back and work on my mind. Like, what did I do? Was I meditating a lot more? Was I doing my affirmation? Was I visualizing? What was I doing? Enable me to have the courage to take that leap. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Use your past, because we often say in the past, but sometimes the past has lessons, messages
Agreed.
that we can
Very much
use
so.
in the
Yes.
present.
Yes.
If I can
Love
just
that, Matt.
add there, acknowledge the fact that you had enough courage to leap in the first place, because so many people can do that. And if you could leap, that means if you could start, you can certainly finish. And give yourself the grace along the way for bumps, bruises, roadblocks, right? For life to happen, and just know that it's not the end, because the end is when you reach your goal. Whatever you do, no matter how many times you fall, get back up, right? And fight like a girl. you know, Pick up the pieces and get back up and fight and keep going, and celebrate yourself on your little milestones as you make it to the finish line. Celebrate yourself. It's so, so important. I'm in a season of me, right? And focusing on me and trying to pour into me, myself, being responsible for watering me, pouring into me, versus looking for other people to do it. Because guess what? They're working on their own goals. They're working on their own path, right? So give yourself the grace to celebrate and keep going no matter what. No matter what comes your way, you can do it. The fact that you jumped, the fact that you went to cable 1 means you can go all the way to cable 7. That's what that means. So give yourself the grace, guys.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
That is very important. That's what I had wrote down. Celebrate your win, no matter how big or small.
Yeah.
And because we often think that a leap has to be something gigantic, right? And that's how I had it in my head. But there's those small leaps helps to give you the courage to know you can do the bigger ones. So definitely celebrate yourself, celebrate you, encourage you, be there for your own self, and see yourself as your own hero. Who do you look up to? Me. So just so that definitely concur with that. I don't know what happened, Yolanda. You disappeared on us for a second. Your camera is disabled, but I know you're still there because we hear your voice. So Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, you're here. Okay. All right. Anyways, now we talked about, taking the jump and everything, and we've jumped, and we also gave some good pointers about actually staying afloat. We just did it together. Like, it didn't even separate anymore. It just roll out like the red carpet. And the thing about it is, what I want to say about also staying afloat, just like how you received something to birth, the seed that was planted in you, birthed it, right? You have to trust the process to know that God is going to place a person in your life that would help you to go to the next level as well. That's how you be able, that's one of the ways of staying afloat. Don't think that you're ever alone. You're never alone, especially when you take up that torch to say, okay, here I am ready to walk and do this, right? You're definitely going to have those, as I say, breadcrumbs waiting for you on that path, waiting for you, right? And honey, another thing is, what did I say, Yolanda? Get yourself a tool, whether it's a machete or whatever it is, because sometimes the path is not all that clear, because you are capable of removing all those thorns and all those, we'll call it bushes. I was going to say
weeds.
Weeds. I was going to say wisps, sorry. All those weeds. You do have those tools, so don't sleep on your tools, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. Making the leap, sometimes when we jump, the result may not be all that we wanted it to be, but don't let that stop you from continue jumping. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That was
beautiful.
That's good stuff. I wanted to a little bit on your support network. When you're taking the leap, you kind of touched it a little bit, Marsha, and you said it's important, the people who you surround yourself with, and just having all of us together to encourage the next person. You can do it. You can do it. It really makes sense. And who's talking in your ear has a huge impact on whether you leap or not. It is very, very important that you guard whatever it is that you want to leap towards. It was yours. It was given to you. Other people may not understand it.
Right.
You align yourself with people that can encourage you towards and beyond. The leap is only the beginning to the destination or whatever the goal is.
Yeah.
But it's important that you have people to get away from the naysayers. You got from people that don't your dream. For the people be realistic. Dreamers aren't realistic.
No.
They're not realistic. Everybody isn't meant to walk with you. Take your leap, and it's okay. Let that be.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to really. They might just not be good for you as you take the jump, and be at peace
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Wow. It looks as if you just dropped the soul gem. Is that our soul gem for today, or you got another soul gem in your? Yes, let's go with our soul gem.
Want it to be.
No, I want to know.
Okay, so
I want to know, as well as our viewers want to know, what is it that you brought for us today for soul gem? Yes.
I kind of acceded to because I know my video is going in and out.
Yeah, you're going in and out a little bit. That's the computer.
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of leaned into it a little bit earlier. And basic is when you are decision to take a leap, choose over fear. So when you're trying to figure out you want to go the destination and choose excitement to the destination over fear. of saying, oh my God, but you know this make you feel good. So lean into how good you feel. Lean into it's so exciting and like pump yourself up to get you go.
Mhm.
Heard that.
No, we did. We did.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
That's
I can hear you. I know what you're saying.
yeah, it's kind of like you're tricking yourself, tricking your mind.
Yeah.
Trick it until it
Trick the
starts
mind, yeah.
sliding to the way it needs to be, needs to go. So I like that. I like that. So learn how to trick your mind with love,
Yeah.
so that you can take that
Yes.
leap. Yes, trick your mind with love. Yeah.
I like the line of exchange fear with excitement.
Yeah.
I think if we do more of that, we'd be more happy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man,
Love it.
it's like that puts us into okay. So this is so that pushed us into Soul Plate and Beautiful Souls. What our Soul Plate section is just pointers that we want for you to keep in your soul as you go throughout the week or the month, and just from this episode that you can just regurgitate it back and just be able to know that, hey, I remember from Taking a Leap episode with her sacred soul space. This is what the young lady said, and be able to know if they can do it, I can do it too. So for our soul play, we just want you to, we just like to drop little additional gems or reminders of things that we talked about. And so Miss Natalie's going to kind of drop some gems or reminders. Right?
Yeah. For us, Sacred Soul Plate, we all talked about many things, but one thing that I would like for you, our viewers, really, what we talked about when we talk about ziplining is such a great metaphor for life. Okay, if you think about it. And I remember even while we walking to go into zip
Yeah.
is the lesson. If you ever done ziplining, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And if you've never done it, I encourage you to take the leap and do it. And going up there, you had no choice but to continue.
Yes.
So I feel like this is like such a great metaphor. And the two things that I took away, and I would like for you to take away from this episode, though we're talking about ziplining, but we're really talking about fear and trust.
Yes.
The fear of the
very
thing,
good.
the fear of the thing, and as you're doing it, to trust the process.
Yes. Love it.
Trust the process. While you're there, even if fear comes up, still trust that you're gonna make it to the other side. That those are the two things that I would like for you to take from this segment. There's the fear and there's trust. So basically, which one are we gonna lean into? Are we gonna lean into fear, or are we gonna lean into trust or faith? Really?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I would like for you guys to stay with that as you go throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you, Nat.
Thanks,
That
Nat.
did something for me
Like
right
we're just
there.
in this space, like, wow.
Yeah, that did.
And remember that all things, all of life's experiences are always working together for the greater good of what's ahead. All things, all of it.
Always. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So grab your little girl's hand and say, come on, honey, we're gonna jump. We're gonna take that leap. For real. Like, you know, just get excited. Tap into your inner child, and just as Beatrice said, that little girl had no fear. So she grab to your little girl and jump. Grab to your little girl and jump. Oh my God. This is good.
Yeah, and remember to say wee.
I'm telling you.
Let's all do that. Let's all do that.
What's funny is the gentleman that was our instructor. He recorded a clip of me going through that third one when I shifted my mind to we, and when I got off of there, you should have heard my voice. it did not sound like a woman. I sounded like a little girl. And when I was like, B, how was it? How was it? And I said, it was great. I can do anything now.
Yes.
I could hear the little child in me. It was so, it was exhilarating. It really was. Yeah. And I made that mental shift.
Let's all promise, including you, our beautiful viewers, to grab our little girl's hand and take the leap and just make sure we say wee. Let her get excited about doing that. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. Please share our page as well. And like our YouTube channel. Subscribe, please. Subscribe. Thank you so much, and hit the bell so you can know when we post stuff. Thanks. And we look forward to connecting with you again. As always, one love.
Boom.
Au revoir.
Not good.